be honest now. Have you ever had any hope whatsoever for the Helldivers movie? If you have, I applaud you, sir. I genuinely do. It's the kind of optimism I wish I still retained. But there is now officially a movie in the works, and we have the name of the director right here. Justin Lin to direct Helldivers video game movie, an exclusive for The Hollywood Reporter. And besides a little bit of fluff here and there, the most important part of it is this. Lin is not a gamer, and leaned into that as a strength when pitching his take on the material. Can you imagine? Okay, you go to an interview, right? And you're like, listen, I know you make hamburgers. I've never even seen a hamburger in my entire life. I've never made one. Heck, I barely have a conceptualization of what a hamburger is. However, that's a strength. That will allow me to elevate your hamburgers to hitherto unforeseen heights. I mean, I gotta give it to him. The sheer balls required to do that, and the vociferous strength of eloquence required to sell that load of garbage. My God, it must have been a performance to rival that given by the Rings of Power producers when they scammed Amazon out of billions of dollars. God, to be a fly on the wall in that meeting. You could write an endless series of self-help books with that material. How to literally bullshit your way into generational wealth. Oy. It goes on, he aims to find the humanity in the characters and weave timely themes into the story. Ah, perfect. Ideal. That's exactly what we need from a Helldivers movie, particularly from somebody who has never actually bothered with Helldivers. Now, I'm hardly Helldivers' greatest fans, but I too could obviously immediately see the appeal of the game and the setting. The extraction shoot mechanisms are fun. There's tons of weapons, tons of enemies, everything feels hectic, running gun battles. And the backstory as well is very Starship Troopers, which you know I enjoy. But this entire idea, well, we have seen this before, haven't we? The Halo TV series, where the people behind it, and even Pablo Schreiber, the main actor, quite proudly stated that, oh, we don't know what a Halo is or what it does, but we do know it's a video game of some sort, and maybe it includes aliens? We don't actually have any plans of doing any, combat sequences or anything, or any action, but we know they're out there, somewhere. Now, would you please fasten your eyes on Pablo Schreiber's Schnauzer for another few minutes? Or Ridley Scott, another beautiful recent example, when people, historians who know their craft, would go up to him and say, you're just making shit up now. This is full fabrication at this point. It's simply get a life, loser. I'm making a movie here. I'm exploring the depth of Napoleon's character as a professional cuckold. Brilliant. As yet again here, find the humanity in the characters and weave timely themes into the story. Right. Timely themes, what'll that be? Oh gosh, I wonder. Could it be politics? Who knows? Could this be a lecture on how our democracy is in danger, how fascism is right around the corner or something? And hey, you know what? If I believed you were the kind of director that it might be able to take on the rather difficult task requiring a great deal of subtlety to truly understand and to exemplify how fascism is an ever-lingering threat, which it absolutely is as well, as is all extremist political ideologies. Again, I recommend Die Welle, a German movie on this topic that did it very well. Don't believe this guy could do it? Not a chance in hell. And find the humanity in the characters. Listen, brother, the movie is called Helldivers. Helldivers. It's a movie about a squad of dudes being dropped into hell, surrounded by enemies, shot at from every side, lost and confused, as they carry out missions being shot at by every single thing in the vicinity. Whilst also fully embracing the chauvinist macho fantasies of all of that as well, and playing it straight. One of the core elements that makes Helldivers good is that it leans heavily into that very masculine fetish. The fight to the end, the brutal last stand, the coolness of the Helldivers. Not to mention, of course, the parody aspect of Super Earth, of managed democracy. It's actually a rather complex setting when you think of it from a parody standpoint. But what I don't want is the humanity of these characters. Again, if I somehow believed that you, the director of Fast and Furious movies, not exactly famed for their Shakespearean writing or deep and intrinsically spiritual deep dives into what it is to be a human being. Well, again, maybe I'd like for you to explore the humanity of the Helldivers, but I don't think you can, in the same way that we should have known that Ridley Scott could not explore the humanity of Napoleon. While building out a world and mythology, there are plenty of details waiting to be drawn in, something that is compelling to the filmmaker. Oh, thank God. At least the filmmaker finds it interesting, which is the third red flag in what is beginning to look an awful lot like a Soviet military parade. Yet again, I don't give a shit if the director finds something compelling about the story. Utterly irrelevant. In fact, I want a story in which the director wants to put nothing of himself in. There's a rather famous quote from Peter Jackson, the directors of The Lord of the Rings, of course, who quite simply said, "This is Tolkien's work right here. We are not going to put any of ourselves in it. Our job isn't to talk about our ideas, our ideals, our politics, our philosophies, any of that. This is Lord of the Rings, and we are going to make Lord of the Rings." But for God's sake and reasons, more and more we have begun to worship the idea of directors, not as tools to present a story and to make a product, but as auteurs that can create whatever shit they want to wipe their ass with at that particular point in time. Which, again, is the thing. There is absolutely an argument for evolving on doctrine, of course, but one should only iterate when one already has a firm foundation to stand upon within the field one is trying to iterate on. And again, I just don't think that the Fast and Furious director has the capabilities to engage effectively with a satire like Super Earth and managed democracy, especially if he also reads on a Reddit forum somewhere that this is inspired by Starship Troopers, at which point he'll probably go to YouTube, find a Verhoeven interview, and find the little bastard saying, "Ah, yes, I threw away the book because I didn't care, but I do know the fascists are bad people, and fascism is when you dress cool." And so that was my movie. Again, I'm not going to pretend I'm the largest fan of Helldivers, but at this point, when we are currently entering into an era where all of the old major franchises are crumbling away, desperately holding on by their fingernails to the edge of relevancy with, I mean, hell, when we talk about Star Wars today, when we talk about DC, about Marvel, about Star Trek, it is never about how bright the future is, it is about whether or not these things can be fucking salvaged. Literally, the conversation is, oh, you know, Star Wars is pretty shit these days, but I do think there is still some saving it. In an age like that, I will happily accept any new and upcoming force up until it proves that it's doomed to fucking die. That was Trench Crusade, and that is probably going to be Helldivers 2 as well. The absolute mess that they have made out of what could have been a millennial franchise is quite remarkable. And hey, again, now, they have opportunities here. They have every business in entertainment begging them to adopt their setting into TV shows, into movies, into animated series, and honestly, you would have been way better off starting with something like that. Something smaller, something more contained, something where you could establish a feel and sense of the world rather than leaping directly into a full motion picture. But hey, when you've just gotten a success way beyond your wildest possible imaginations, I imagine it would be rather difficult to keep your testicles cooled and not burst at the first opportunity handed to you, so fair enough. But yes, that's a nice little May Day parade of red flags there for the Helldivers movie. Oh well, I'm sure another franchise will come along eventually. You know what? Let's not even say that out loud for fear that we will jinx it. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I do hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.